did a search for a vice president of sales for a 30-person company. And this person is a player coach. They're the third commercial person into the company. So they're not the first, but this is not a big company, right? This is an early stage organization. And this person is contributing to the sales and leading the process for future sales. So they're that player coach. And in this particular case, the compensation was a base salary and then a variable commission that was a big chunk, 50% of their base salary. So this is a lot of money on the table for both organizations. Half of that 50% was tied to company achievement. So these are the company goals, whatever they might be. So we're going to have a new product launch. We're going to present at, we're going to, whatever those company goals are. Half of the variable compensation was tied to overall company goals. The other half were tied to actual performance of this person and their individual contributions to sales. And everybody then agreed what those were. And so
let's dig on that before you go on. So I want to recap because it's really valuable. So half of the salary, half of the compensation package was and I'm not talking about equity, I'm talking about cash, was performance based. But half, so a quarter, was on overall. Do we win the championship? Do we make the playoffs? And if we make the playoffs, then you get that chunk, or some portion of that chunk. And then the other piece was more individual. But you said not the same as just commission. So what get granular as much as you want and can on what were some of those things that triggered that quarter of their compensation?
In the early stage, it's sometimes difficult to establish commission for sales, and Dan can talk about this more, but because you may not have sales on a routine basis. Like you might make a sale and then it might be months before you make another sale, and that might be okay because your lead time could be that long, or it just could be that long before your next sale. So until there's a pace of sales and a pipeline established, then the variable compensation is often tied to maybe an annual bonus or a semi-annual bonus or a quarterly bonus that's tied to, again, half company and then the other half to individual, versus an actual commission structure that's based on a schedule or a pacing of sales, because you have sales and you have some level of scale and predictability attached to it that you can attach commission versus a bonus. We often see more of a bonus structure for the early sales team for that reason.
Dan, anything you want to add on specific tips for how you've seen it? Not just sort of general rules of the road, those are useful too, but sure, how you've seen compensation packages structured that you thought that was smart, people should do more like that.
Yeah. So what I think equity is a really important piece. And while, sure that, there'll be some vesting, et cetera, I think oftentimes it's they're like, wait a minute, like we're hiring a salesperson, like equity, like why would they need equity? But so one is like, if you can find a salesperson willing to come into your startup where there's a lot of unknowns and it's hard, and it's a really a unique breed of person that will come in and do this. Now they're going to do it for a lot of reasons, right? I mean, it's one, they're going to learn a lot. It's a challenge. It's exciting. It's new technology. They're being a part of something something new and creating. So that's all great, and that's why they're going to come. But what you don't want to do is that you come in, they sacrifice, you sacrifice. They start getting a little bit of traction. More than likely, it's not going to go as fast as the board hopes or they hope, etc. But if you don't follow through with some of your commitments, and if you don't do the proper things to retain that person through all of this really hard work, they're at some point they're going to be like, you know what, I'm going to go back to Fisher Scientific, etc. And that's just going to be, that's easy. I know it's predictable. I know I can make that money. I've done that before. I'm just going to go back and do that. And there's 10 recruiters, not Tara to say that, but if they're good, I mean, Tara's
going to take your startup salesperson. Yeah, that's why they're Kyle and Tara and whoever you hire, she's going to ship them off somewhere else.
I mean, because the people who do this, they've already been successful in that traditional sales and they're looking for a new challenge, right? And so, yeah, they've probably got 10 jobs that they could take at any moment. So you really have to think, and again, I've had this experience where they haven't followed through with the equity piece, and man, is that disincentivizing. And they are like, and because they want to be in it with the startup, they want the sacrifice, they want the sweat equity, but if you don't give them, if you don't follow through with that piece, yeah, they're going to be gone pretty quick.